Ms. McLean, are you ready to start? Ms. McLean?
Yes. We're ready?
Yes, ma'am. One moment.
All right.
If you're ready, Ms. McLean, we'll go ahead and start the meeting in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. My name is, please silence all electronic devices for the duration of this meeting. Welcome to the February 17th, 2024 Strategic Planning and External Relations Committee meeting. My name is Jan McLean. I am HART Board Counsel, and I will start the meeting until the chair is elected. The meeting format is hybrid. Quorum is physically present at the HART Administrative Offices at 1201 East 7th Avenue, Florida Conference Room, and the rest of the board members are participating via communications media technology. If you would, please either look at your screens or stand and let us do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Moving on to the public comment part of our committee meeting. My understanding is there's no one registered or there for public comment. Is that still accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So then we'll move on to the election of committee officers. The process is that I will provide the direction in the process, ask for nominations from the floor, which do not require a second. Once nominations are closed, I will ask the committee members to vote on the nomination in order received to identify one committee member with the majority of votes. The last step will be to confirm the committee officers' election with a motion by the board. Do I have any questions to the process before we move on?
No.
Okay. Thank you. So the first officer position is the committee chair of the Strategic Planning and External Relations Committee. The 2024 chair was Director Melanie Williams. Do I have any nominations from the floor?
I'll nominate Melanie Williams to remain as chair of the committee.
Ms. Williams, are you willing to accept the nomination?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? If not,
This is Gary Hartfield.
I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Director Williams has done a phenomenal job, so no slight to her, but I nominate Director King.
I respectfully decline.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Hartfield and Mr. King. If there are no further nominations, nominations will be closed. And could I have a motion for confirmation of Director Melanie Williams as chair, please?
Move to confirm the nomination, the election or nomination of Melanie Williams as chair.
Thank you. Okay. I'll continue on for the election. The next position is committee vice chair of Strategic Planning and External Relations Committee. The 2024 vice chair was Director Gil Schisler. Do I have nominations for the floor for the 25 committee vice chair of the committee?
I would like to nominate John King as vice chair for the year 2025 committee.
Thank you. Mr. King, are you willing to accept the nomination?
Yes, I'll be happy to do that.
Thank you. Do we have any other nominations? Hearing none, our nominations will be closed, and Mr. King is the Vice Chair of the Strategic Planning and External Relations Committee. Could I have a motion to confirm that, please?
I confirm Melanie Williams.
Second.
Motion, thank you. And at this point, I will turn the meeting over to the chair.
Thank you for the opportunity to be chair, and it's a privilege, so thanks. All right, we'll move right on into the approval of minutes. Do I have a?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Danielle, will you take your roll, please?
Committeemember King,
Yes.
Committeemember Mechanic, Committeemember Schisler,
Yes.
and Committeemember Williams.
Yes.
I would also like to take this moment to acknowledge that we do have Director Hartfield here as well.
Thank you. The next step is a presentation, and it's on solicitation for legislative support services contract. I'll hand it over to you, CEO, and we can pass it to the right person.
So this is a presentation on solicitation of legislative support services contract, and I'll let Ms. Kathy Zickerfuss, Director of Procurement, present.
Good morning, committee chair, committee members, Mr. Drainville. My name is Kathy Zickerfuss. I'm Director of Procurement, and I'm going to go over some slides that detail the solicitation process for our legislative consulting services. Yeah. Oh, the buttons. Gotcha. Okay, this slide details the background to the contract that was awarded to Holland and Knight on October 6, 2020, for federal, state, and regional legislative consulting and government relations services. The contract will expire on September 30th, 2025. For the solicitation, HART conducted a single request for proposal process. We permitted firms to submit proposals for either one of the categories, federal, state, and regional, or for the full scope of services. 15 points were added to the average overall technical score for the firms that submitted proposals for the full scope of services. Some of the key actions of the upcoming solicitation that are detailed in the scope is to advocate for funding and grant opportunities, assist HART in identification of new funding sources, develop and implement strategies for securing federal, state, and local funding for priority HART projects, develop and implement strategies on key regulatory issues for HART, assist HART with development and implementation of annual short and long-range legislative agendas, actively monitor and development of transportation-related legislation, regulations or policy directives at the state, regional, and local and federal levels, actively coordinate HART legislative activities with other entities such as APTA, TPO, FPTA, and regional governments. We're stuck. Okay, some of the key deliverables, written status reports on pending legislation, budgetary issues, administration policies, or other regional, state, and federal issues of interest to HART. Weekly briefings with HART designated staff, a weekly written summary report detailing legislative action taken while the legislature is in session, weekly status reports on the status of HART legislative priorities. When there's a congressional legislative agenda which may or will impact HART, the consultant will immediately notify HART's designated staff member. Schedule and plan regular meetings with the state and federal delegates, the governor's office, state and federal Senate and House offices, state, federal agencies, committees that can impact the outcome of any and all agency requests, and advocate HART's legislative initiatives. Some of the key performance measures. Some of the key performance measures for the upcoming contract is the overall effectiveness of the contractor, communicating HART agenda priorities and policy positions and funding matters before elected and/or appointed officials, regulatory agencies, stakeholders, and citizens, timeliness, frequency, and quality of expertise and development and implementation of HART's annual short and long-range government relations agendas, annual legislative and executive branch strategies, and recommendation on legislation, regulations, or policies with potential impact on HART or its operations, advocating for HART adopted policy and funding priorities, required reports, legislative updates, presentations, and other communications with HART, timeliness, frequency, and quality of assistance provided to HART in securing grant and other funding for HART projects and programs. Some of the procurement decisions. HART's procurement manual outlines the procurement process for the selection of legislative consultants. Today, the committee will form recommendations to the full board of directors on the following: the solicitation method, HART board member or members to participate in the ad hoc committee for the procurement selection. The ad hoc committee will review and provide feedback on the solicitation scope, the evaluation criteria, and weight to be given to the evaluation criteria. The contract term. Then, following the technical evaluation, the ad hoc committee will assist with the criteria for interviewing the top 2 or 3 firms. The next slide is procurement strategy. The following are staff's recommendation for the procurement strategy. We recommend that we do a competitive solicitation process. That's a request for proposal. Board member selection for participation in the procurement process. We recommend a best value solicitation. We recommend a 3-year base term with 2 one-year options, and then we recommend presentations to the full board by 2 or 3 of the highest ranking firms. And this slide is for the procurement timeline. March 3rd of 2025, the board approves a procurement strategy. The board appoints an ad hoc committee member to oversee the selection process. The solicitations issued in April of 25. The proposals will be reviewed and scored by the procurement evaluation committee or the ad hoc committee. June 16th of 2025, Strategic Planning and External Relations Committee recommendation of approvals to go to the board. And July 21st of 2025, at the board meeting, the vendor presents to the board, and the board review and approve a contract award. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for the presentation and the level of detail that's included, so thank you. Are there any questions or comments as it relates to this presentation? Director Justlu?
Yes, thank you. Good presentation. Thanks, Kathy. Go back a couple slides, if we could, to the solicitation method, formal versus formal informal. Can you give me a 30-second differential?
Sure. The formal solicitation is the typical solicitation method where we put it out on the street and it's full and open. The informal solicitation is where we target, 3, 4, 5 firms and request proposals for the described services.
Do we have any DBE issues if we kept it informal, or do we have?
Yeah, federal funds cannot be used, so DBE would not be relevant.
Okay, so it doesn't
in this.
matter.
I mean,
Okay.
we always reach out and encourage DBE, but there's no DBE.
Okay, that's
goal.
just wanted to verify.
Mm-hmm.
With the current company, with Holland and Knight, have they met all the deliverable criteria? Or do they continue to meet all the deliverable criteria?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Will they be invited to bid, or do we have a list of who we're going to go to, or?
We don't have a list yet, but that's something that we can provide. In fact, the ad hoc committee member will be involved in developing that list. But yeah, there's no reason that they would not be
Okay.
invited.
Is there any reason why we wouldn't put it out on the street, or just save time, or?
It's just what the pleasure would be.
So really-
Both the timing is about the same.
Okay.
Whether you put it out full and open or whether you just target.
Okay. Okay, that's all I had as far as that goes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you very much again. We will move on to the old business.
Well, we need decisions, don't we? Yeah, we need to make some decisions. We need to make, we could do, the procurement decisions we have to make today are the solicitation members, the method. Are you looking for a number of board members to participate in the
Yeah, either board
evaluation?
member or members. One of the things that we've had, the current contract had 1 board member and then 2 HART staff. So we just need to be mindful of the board's schedule and the difficulty sometimes that comes with getting them in for the evaluation process and so forth.
Ideally, what would you like to have happen?
Certainly at least 1 board member to be part of the ad hoc committee.
Would 2 be preferable, or is 1 sufficient?
1's sufficient, and 2's fine as well. Certainly, if we have 2 folks that want to participate, that's great.
So we're nominating the chair, for the committee, or the ad hoc committee?
Yeah, just making a recommendation to the board.
Okay.
If I could, this is Jan McLean. Ms. Williams, according to the procurement manual, the board of directors appoints the ad hoc committee, so of course the recommendations from the committee they could incorporate into their actions.
Thank you.
But the procurement, thank you.
I'll volunteer to participate.
Thank
If
you.
nobody else does it. I'm retired, so I have more time than a lot of the working individuals. So, I mean, yeah, my wife can only kill me once, so.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that like to participate on the committee?
I'll volunteer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So we have Director Sisler, and we also have Joint Director King.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great, so that'll be recommended then to the board, and then we can share the scope and what we have together so far for your review.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments at this time?
What else do you need from us?
Nothing at this point.
Okay.
All right, I'll go back to old business. New business? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Huh? No, we got two more.